right? You make her happy, so you'll be all right.
And happy wife normally is about happy life for me.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It ain't about her, it's about you.
So Van says that because Jewish people showed up for Black Americans during the Civil Rights era, he now feels compelled to stand with them now. Let me be clear.
What's the white liberal ideology I'm following?
I'm not saying you.
No, that's what you said. So I'm saying which one?
No one is free until we are all free. There's no room for any injustice.
Peace, family. It's your brother, Marc Lamont Hill. Welcome to the Marc Lamont Hill official YouTube channel. I'm so happy to see y'all today. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. First of all, let me apologize. I realize now that there was a schedule up for 10 o'clock. I didn't know that my team was being generous to me and nice to me, and they posted a time. I didn't see the time. I would have put 10:30 or 11, but I'm grateful for the support, and I'm grateful to see y'all here. I missed y'all all day. I was actually thinking about y'all and what y'all were up to and what y'all were talking about. We built a real community here, and I think it's so dope. And so I'm glad to see y'all, man. Let me shout out some of my people here, man. Kimono Kenny is here. Jordan Taylor, my brother, is here. What's up, Noob? Change Wave Media is in the building. Verena Frazier is here. Abel Tesfaye, I'm assuming that's my Habesha family here. So many of y'all in the building here. Michaela Lewis is here. Y'all having whole conversations. Y'all having whole conversations about technology and platforms and stuff, man. I'm trying to keep up with y'all, man. I don't even know what y'all talk about, but I'm happy to see y'all. I'm also happy to welcome Dion Rulhak here. Who joined the channel today. Welcome to the family. As Jordan said, welcome to the family, yo. It's a dope thing to be here, man. And everybody here is shouting you out because it really is something special, man. We appreciate you, man. I appreciate all of y'all. Tonight, if I said this is Mrs. You think I'm doing a Lauryn Hill? No, I didn't know, yo. I swear to God, I didn't know we were starting at 10 o'clock. I was sitting here on the couch. So Tuesday is my long day. I travel. I do rehearsals for Al Jazeera. I do my griot show. I teach in New York. I take like 2 trains up and back. You know what I'm saying? Like I do a lot. I don't even get home till 8, 9 o'clock, and then I got some family time. So I apologize. Tuesday gonna be late in general, but I appreciate y'all. Jeffaholic, shout out to you. Kimono Kenny again, shout out to you. I appreciate y'all, man. Makeda, I appreciate you. Rosabilly, y'all bet. I guess that's West Coast time. Somebody had 7:55 up here. I appreciate it. Anyway, let me get started because there's people here who don't know us and they think they're like, can y'all get to it? You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna get to it. In all seriousness. Today is a very serious day. It is day 151 of Israel's war on Gaza. And so, as always, tonight I want to give some updates so that you know exactly what's happening and you know exactly what the mainstream media is not covering, what corporate media is not telling you, because that is incredibly important. So much of this started early today, Tuesday morning. There was an Israeli air attack on a home in Khan Yunis. Khan Yunis is in southern Gaza, not that far from Rafah. 8 people were killed. 8 people were killed. Several people were injured as well, according to the Wafa news agency. As always, the Israeli government, the Israeli military has been cagey about the how and the why of it. It's been very unclear what their target was or what their military objective was. But of course, as you can imagine, they're going to say that Hamas was in the house, and so they had to kill people. And that type of logic, that type of practice has led to the current death toll, which is at this moment officially 30,631. Again, 30,631 Palestinians have been killed since October 7th. In addition to that, 72,000 and 43 have been wounded in Israeli attacks in Gaza since October 7th. The death toll in Israel remains at 1,131. That's the revised death number from the October 7th attacks from Hamas. So we've seen a lot of things here in the last day, which have been stressful, disturbing, but in some ways wholly unsurprising. Omar Shakir, who is the director of the Human Rights Watch director for Israel and Palestine, said that attacks by Israeli forces on people seeking aid in Gaza were part of a decades-long pattern of deadly abuses against Palestinians. The reason that's important is because after these massacres that have taken place, as Palestinians have stood in line for food, they've waited to eat, waited to get medicine, waited to get some kind of humanitarian aid, they have been killed, defenseless, unarmed. And it really marked, I think, a turn. And I think we're going to see a turn in the kind of diplomatic tenor and tone. There's a moment where even the most faithful loyalist to the state of Israel has to say too much. And innocent people staying in line for food and getting shot is too far, even for people that deny the genocide, even for people who insist that Hamas is everywhere, even for people who insist that Israel is always defending itself. Even that is too much. And so when groups like Human Rights Watch come out and speak to this, it says and does something. I'm struck by something else, though, and this is why if I seem hesitant or palsy right now, glitchy, it's because I'm frustrated and sad about what I've been hearing. According to reports, using their bare hands, people have been digging through the rubble of destroyed homes to rescue victims of yet another Israeli bombing of Rafah. In the east of the city, there are similar scenes as crowds search through what remains of a building that was pulverized by air attacks. So we see a couple of things here. One, of course, is just more death. Another thing we see is the destruction of the built environment, more buildings crushed. I mean, I don't know. I think we're over 50%, we might be at 60, 65% of the buildings in Gaza destroyed. So if you're killing the people and you're destroying the buildings, and you have people who are literally taking their bare hands and digging through the rubble to find their loved ones, it defies words. Anyway, I'll move on. The World Food Program said an aid convoy was denied entry into northern Gaza by Israel's military, preventing the first attempt by the UN to deliver aid there since February 20th. The WFP said that to avert famine, there must be road access to Gaza's north. So again, we talk about the bombing in the south. We talk about the density of the south in Rafah right now, which has probably 5 times, if not now 6 times as many people as it should have. But on top of what's happening in Rafah, on top of what's happening in the southern part of Gaza, on top of what's happening in places like Khan Yunis, which we just talked about, in the north, there is severe famine, severe malnutrition, severe dehydration. And Israel keeps saying they're doing all they can. The U.S. is saying we're doing all we can. And then you hear groups like the World Food Program who say, hey, we had a convoy, we had an aid convoy, and we weren't allowed in. And this is what we hear every single day, that they weren't allowed in. At some point, this becomes unjustifiable. At some point, this becomes indefensible. We're way past that point. But hopefully the world is paying attention. The goal here is ceasefire. For me, it's a permanent ceasefire. We'll see where that goes. I don't think a permanent ceasefire is on the table right now. According to Hamas, they've spoken about this. They say that ceasefire negotiations are ongoing, but, quote, the ball is in the Israeli court. while the United States says obstacles to a truce are, quote, not insurmountable. The problem is you can't trust the United States. I remember Joe Biden eating an ice cream cone, what, a week ago, 10 days ago, whatever it was, talking about, oh, we'll have one by the weekend, or my sources say by the end of the weekend, or my NSA director says by the end of the weekend, or blah, 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 blah. And you know what? All that happens, and at the end of the day, there's no ceasefire. Let's keep going. We're not done at the border, the southern Lebanese border. Just earlier today, an Israeli bombing has killed a Hezbollah fighter, as well as his wife and their son in the southern Lebanese village of Hula. And according to U.S. envoy Amos Hochstein, a verbal proposal has been given for calm along the Lebanese-Israeli border. And the idea here is that negotiations will begin during Ramadan. That's according to Najib Mikati, who's the prime minister of Lebanon. We're going to see a ceasefire soon. I just think it's going to be a permanent, a temporary ceasefire. I don't imagine the fighting going through Ramadan for multiple reasons. But I'm not optimistic. Nothing about this situation makes me optimistic. Let's talk a little bit about some of the diplomatic developments that have taken place. Well, actually, one more thing. There was a large shipment of flour that was intended for Gaza. This was a big deal. The flour can feed 1.5 million people for 5 months. 1.5 million people for 5 months. There's 2.2 million people in Gaza. This is not a small thing. So this large shipment of flour that was intended for Gaza remained stalled 46 days after the White House announced it, and nearly 2 weeks since a new framework was agreed with Israel for its delivery. So again, America sending flour to Gaza and negotiating with Israel 46 days ago. Still hasn't gotten there. 2 weeks ago, they said, we're going to make an adjustment to make it get there. Still hasn't gotten there. Initially, in early February, when they were supposed to get there, they said, well, UNRWA is giving out the flour. We can't have UNRWA giving out the flour because they're part of the Hamas, quote, war machine. I guess the flour was going to become terrorist flour. It was going to become anti-Israel flour. It was going to be used for, it made no sense. So they revised the framework a couple of weeks ago and said, all right, fine, the UN's World Food Program will give it out. That way, UNRWA doesn't touch it. Hamas doesn't have access to this flour. And it still isn't there. It still isn't there. Now, as you all know, negotiations are continuing. Some are authorized, some are not. Benny Gantz is a member of the Israeli War Cabinet. He's an opposition politician. He's part of the leadership model that emerged a couple of years ago when Netanyahu was struggling to build a coalition. They kind of had to have a unified coalition. Anyway, Benny Gantz came to the United States to meet with American politicians. He met with Kamala Harris. He apparently met with Antony Blinken, the U.S. Secretary of State. Netanyahu is pissed. He wanted no parts of this. He did not approve this. He did not authorize this. He wasn't happy. But according to him, they're working toward a durable solution. We'll see what happens. One more thing about Israeli aid that I wanted to talk about. Israel prevented water filters provided by the UK government from entering Gaza, saying that they were a threat. That's according to a UK member of parliament. Rosanna Allen Khan announced the incident in a post on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it, saying, what threat does a water filter supplied by the UK government have? There were 1,350 filters that were included as part of a humanitarian aid package that the UK government dispatched to Gaza, and Israel would not let them in. This is part of the reality of the region. This is part of the reality of what's happening, is that Israel is literally not permitting the most basic of necessities, the most basic of needs in, the most basic of resources. None of it is being allowed into the Gaza Strip. And so here we are. Here we are. So what do we do? It's the right question. It's the right question. Wish I had a great answer for you. Wish I had a great answer for you, but I don't. All we can do right now is hope for a ceasefire, hope for a temporary ceasefire that will grow into a long-term ceasefire. That's not the framework that I support. It's not the framework that I believe in. It's just a framework that that seems to be attainable. It's quite shocking and quite disappointing where we are, but we're here. So anyway, those are the live updates. Much more going on. I have an interview tomorrow with a major Israeli political representative. It should be interesting. You'll see it on Al Jazeera on Friday. So I need to continue to prep for it. But I wanted to come on here and give you all the Gaza update. And I'm going to do a Q&A in about 5 minutes. We're going to come up and talk about all kinds of things. Jazz, what you just said is super interesting. Jazz said, today was the first time that I did not vote in the presidential contest. Since I couldn't vote uncommitted, I didn't vote in the presidential contest, but I did vote in the other contest. That's how a lot of people are feeling. And I think Joe Biden is going to, bear the brunt of that in November. And I think we just might see a President Trump if we're not careful. We got to be mindful of that as well. Anyway, Bullet the Bunny, thank you as always. A family telling y'all gotta teach me about Discord. I don't know what that is. I know I should, but I don't. I'm embarrassed. I know it's. Actually, I just don't know what it is. I've heard of it, but I don't exactly understand it. Jessica, thank you so much for the sticker. Tariq Effendi, thank you. Appreciate you. Kathy N, thank you for your kind words and your generosity. RM, welcome to the channel. Another family member. I'm so grateful to see you here. So grateful to have you here. Spread the word, y'all. We up. We doing all kinds of cool stuff. Yasir, thank you. I'm glad to know the insights and my commentaries matter to you. And Kate Cannon, thank you so much for your sticker and your generosity, y'all. As always, if you watch, keep watching. Teacher, no, there's not gonna be a paywall for the Q&A tonight. We just jump on in the room. We're gonna do it in about maybe 5 minutes. Just come on in. Appreciate y'all. Hit the like button. That's all I ask. Let the YouTube algorithms know that you care about what we're doing. Hit the subscribe button. If you're not a subscriber right now, while you're on this live right now, hit the subscribe button. It's very simple. Just hit the subscribe button. And if you're so inclined, you always hit the join button. We love when people hit the join button and become a member of the channel. We appreciate it. And of course, if you want to bypass all that and just make a direct donation to the channel, we building, y'all. We are out here building. A lot of cool stuff is happening. A lot of cool stuff is being developed. I really, really appreciate you. And if you make the donation, we appreciate it. You just go to MLH TV. If everybody just gave $1 tonight, we'd be killing it. It'd be a great night. If everybody who's online right now just gave $1, we'd be able to pay for our video editing. We'd be able to help pay for our production team. That would be amazing. But again, if you can't, you can't. I don't trip about it. I'm more grateful I'm most appreciative just when people show up every night for these commentaries, for this community building. It's been so much fun. I feel like I know y'all, even if some of y'all I've never seen your face before. I still feel like I know you and that y'all are part of the fam, and I look forward to talking to you. So let's just keep doing it. Why don't we do this? Give me a few minutes. Literally, it's 11:15. I'll be on in 5 minutes with a live Q&A, and we'll talk about stuff. It don't gotta be one topic or two topics. It could be whatever you want. Now, I do give preference to the members. If you're a channel member, you're much more likely to get a question answered. But everybody can jump on in. Samba Boy, thank you so much for the generous donation. I appreciate you so much. Let's connect, y'all. I'll be on in 5 minutes. I'll see you. Peace.